You may very soon reach a point where you weave so much that you run out of yarn. This is not enough yarn to go all the way across. So we will go over the next thing. How to change your yarn color or just add more yarn. So now I have this little bit. One rule that we're going to follow is we're never going to have these ends of our yarn sticking out the side. We're going to bring it into the middle of our loom. The reason, what we're seeing here, like what's facing us off the loom, is going to end up being the back of our weaving. So the side we don't see will be the front of our weaving, and the side that we're looking at right now will be the back of our weaving. If we hide the ends of our yarn like this, it'll be hidden on the back of our weaving, okay? Instead of the end of our yarn sticking out the side, where from the front or the back, we'll see that. We want to be able to hide the end of our yarn, and we'll be able to trim this shorter later. That end of the yarn there will be held in place by all the threads that we add later that squish down on it. So it'll all be held in place, it'll all be good later. But let's say I want to change my color or add a new piece of yarn. I've decided to have this orange as my next color. I'm going to put the ball of yarn itself in my box there so it'll roll around the box and not off the table. I'm putting a bunch of yarn through the eye of my needle, and I'm going to cut however much I think I need of this yarn. I got my yarn ready to go on my needle, and I've located the end of my yarn, okay? My end with my needle, my end with nothing. And what I'm gonna do, so I brought this yarn in from over here to the middle, and I'm gonna finish this row with my new color, okay? We're not gonna notice that much at all that we've started in the middle of this row with a new color. It's gonna look like this is one stripe of yellow, and then my next color, it's gonna look like a stripe of orange. We're not gonna notice that this row has some yellow and some orange. So I'm gonna look back. I went under last, and we keep the same pattern of movement going, okay? So here on this thread, on this next one, since I went under here, I'm gonna go over here, then under here, over, under. Same pattern, but I'm just getting the end of my yarn started. So I just put the end of my yarn through as if I had gone over this thread, and now I'm under this thread. So now you have two ends of yarns just hanging out together. They should be holding hands, hanging out, they're getting to know each other. The ends of our yarn are technically going over this one, and now I'm under, and I keep it moving, the same over under pattern. This part might be the most confusing part, but you'll get the hang of it. So be careful when you pull your yarn through that you're not pulling that tail of yarn all the way through. You can hold those tails down with your thumb. Keep avoiding draw-in, don't pull tightly. And when I reach this part where my ends of the yarn are going over, that means in the next row I'll go under. That gap will get kind of smushed away later when we press down on all these weft threads. Have a little bubble, bring it down, and now keep going over, under, over, under. Weaving is when you get the hang of the pattern and the movement that you need to make with your hand, weaving is really nice to do when you're watching TV or just talking with people, and you can kind of just zone out and relax. You have to keep making sure you don't skip any. Check your rows as you go. And I'll show you one more technique, and then you are on your way.